we are going to do a segment that I call generic questions. Those of you that
Right.
have seen my interviews before, notice where I'll ask Steve his favorite match, his favorite overall pay-per-view card, such as Double or Nothing 2019, his favorite wrestler's entrance, his favorite tag team, and favorite wrestler. Basically, the generic questions Steve might get asked on social media. So now he'll have a place to be like, guys, I have answered this. Please go watch this. So, what's your favorite match of all time?
Okay, my favorite match of all time. I know you sent me these questions and I didn't even think about them. My favorite match of all time is probably I'm gonna say okay, so my favorite actual match of all time is probably the first Kenny Omega Kazuchika Okada match from Wrestle Kingdom 2017. It's either that, there's three of them. It's either that or there's two John Cena matches. It's either RVD versus Cena at One Night Stand, just because the atmosphere was amazing. RVD called his cash in. He cashed in. I was a huge ECW fan at the time. I really loved what WWE was doing with ECW. I thought it was very ballsy. So I love that. All the Cena throws a shirt into the crowd, they throw it back. I thought that was awesome. I loved that. That was so electric. I remember watching it with some friends back down in LA when I was there. And then also it'd be CM Punk versus John Cena at Money in the Bank. I thought that was just, again, a very cool angle. He was threatening to take the title with him to New Japan or Ring of Honor, whatever. And I thought that match, number one, the match is phenomenal. And the atmosphere, it was electric. And then CM Punk running away with the title, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So it'd be those three. And then also I give it up to end of an era match with Triple H and Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as guest ref. That's a really terrific match. That's like one of my favorite matches too.
Funny enough, that was Larson's favorite match when we did.
Yeah, he always talks about end of an era. Also, probably Sasha Banks and Bailey at Brooklyn, their first match in Brooklyn. That's up there too. That's
very, very cool, my friend. What about your favorite overall pay-per-view card?
Man, I want to say, I think it's, let me double check this really quick. Because I was thinking about this too. And I think it might be WrestleMania 18. Because if you look at this card, it is basically like the proper invasion angle. They did the invasion angle a year earlier. But if you look at this, Undertaker versus Ric Flair, Booker T versus Edge, Stone Cold versus essentially the NWO, Rock versus Hogan. In the end, you got two of my favorites, Triple H and Chris Jericho. DDP versus Christian, and RVD versus William Regal. That is a killer card right there. Like, the pay-per-view might have been on the underwhelming side, but my God, that, like, just that lineup right there, that I remember, and I remember watching that at like a bar with like a bunch of wrestling fans and people going crazy for it. I mean, in retrospect, maybe it's not the greatest in the world, but I mean, that to this day, that Rock Hogan moment where the crowd is like just understanding that moment, that's really awesome stuff.
Very, very cool. What about your favorite wrestler entrance theme?
Favorite wrestler entrance theme is probably, I'm gonna go with like there are obviously the classics. The NWO is always awesome. Jericho's awesome. I mean, Stone Cold. Those are the ones that are like a DX. Those are the ones that, like, yeah, those are cool, right? Those are the best. You can't go wrong with any of those. My personal favorite that I always used to go crazy for, God, Booker T's was so good. In the end, I'd probably go with Triple H's My Time.
Okay. Why
That
does that one
one,
speak to you?
it's so cool. It's so cool. And I was such a big fan of him. I'm always a huge fan when somebody reinvents themselves, and not only reinvents themselves into a main eventer. Like, he went from being a mid card, like an upper mid card guy with DX, and he found a way to get out of that and rebrand himself as the Game. And he just he looked like he belonged as champion in the main event. I was always a Triple H guy. I'm a Triple H guy now. I think, yeah, my time was the thing, man. I thought that was really cool.
What about your favorite tag team?
My favorite tag team of all time is probably, Oh man. Probably the outsiders. Probably Hall and Nash. Like you took two. I mean, Hall should have been a world champion in WWF, but you take these two like main event WrestleMania guys. You did these two guys, like one of them whom was like a champion in WWF for a year, and then they come over to WCW as a tag team. That was the coolest shit. That was so cool. I love that so much. I'm gonna go with the outsiders and say Hall and Nash. They were cool.
And then finally, the biggest generic question, in my opinion, Steve, who is your favorite overall wrestler?
Oh man, I mean, it's probably gonna be in terms of the total package, everything about it, from the storytelling, the in ring, the accomplishments, the look. It's Triple H. He was everything, man. He was the most metal dude there was. He would cheat. I remember being so pissed off when Jericho won that championship and and then Triple H bullied the ref.
The one night thing, yeah.
Yeah, he bullied the ref. He was like, "That ain't happening. You're reversing this." And he did. I was pissed off. But I was like, God damn, that's some really good heel work right there. And then China looked like $1,000,000. I mean, in the end, yeah, he never had a bad theme song. He had Lemmy the whole time, and now he's running it and he's doing it his way, and he's got the judgment. He's booking all these wrestlers to their fullest potential. I'm a Triple H guy.
That's very, very cool, my friend.